So we're back and we're gonna talk about a bit about the awesome place we're at now. We're in Östermalm in the Wallery Art Gallery.
Yeah.
And why did you start this of all the projects?
Yeah, that's you shouldn't own a gallery at all, really.
Why?
No, because it's hard to earn money on galleries. You go through all the information that we have here in Sweden through galleries, and you just take a look at them and quite quickly see that okay, don't do gallery business at all. But I had another way of it, because I painted graffiti for myself when I was a young kid, and I really loved it. Or I loved everything about, was like sub sports or whatever. I didn't ski. I had the snowboard. I didn't play regular soccer. I play American football. Stuff like that. And I instead of picking up a pen and draw something or doing oil or acrylic or stuff like that, I used a spray can instead, because I thought that was the thing you should do if you was a young guy when I was like 13, 14. So I started up with graffiti, and I didn't become some of the most greatest in Stockholm at all. I didn't paint that much, but I painted something, some remarkable stuff I have done, of course. But then you get a family and everything, and you put that aside, and maybe you do some canvases in the basement or stuff like that. But
just to get that creativity out in some point.
Yeah, you have to. If you have a creativity gene as I have, and a lot of people have, I think you have to get it out. Not maybe every day, but once a week or something like that. Otherwise, your head's gonna make you mad. It's like it's like people who like running. If they can't run, they don't feel good. And it's the same with the creative side. If you can't get it out, then you ain't gonna feel good. So then you have to do something about it. But that could be other stuff. It doesn't have to be like I paint or stuff like that. It's also in my property development thing. I do creative stuff all the time. So I have a lot of.
You find some way to get.
Yeah. I really. But I came up in a certain age. I came up, but I had some time, and I also had the money, and that case I like. Okay, maybe I should open up a street art gallery. Yeah, but why should I do that? Because every time when I read something about street art or the street artists, they just wrote down shit about the art form. The guys who was doing that, they were just criminals taking drugs, just went out there to just destroy stuff, and I like, is this me? No, it isn't me. Is it my friends also doing graffiti? No, it wasn't. So they was writing about kind of a few people out there, but the other 800 guys, or because it's almost just guys, not that many girls, were just regular guys. Just they had, chosen a spray can instead of a pencil, and they are exactly as creative as other artists, doing oil or acrylics or whatever it is, but they use a spray can instead. So I thought, like, how can I develop this art form? How can I make other people, experience this art form?
And put like a gooder light, bring.
Yeah.
Maybe show parents that think, no, you should not do graffiti.
Yeah.
It's bad. Maybe teach them a lesson that it's beauty in this form too.
Yeah,
and it should have a place in schools, you think too, also.
Yeah, of course. Because they should try it. Paint with a spray can, because it's quite hard, or it's almost the worst thing you can do. And in that case, you have a feeling of, okay, when you see a really good spray can artist or graffiti artist or street artist or whatever it is handling a spray can, then you can like see like, oh, they're really good. And then you bring up the quality for the art form. And I want to like develop people around me, around the gallery, to what's street art, what is it really? Isn't it like other art forms? Yeah, it is. You know, you can find photorealistic stuff, abstract stuff. You can find everything in street art, just at the same as in other art forms. But nobody knows about it, and that's where I come in. I try to embrace this art form and give it to the people. And also, you know, bringing up street artists, taking care of them, sell their art, and so on, so they can also keep doing it.
Yeah, like the guy, what's his name? He's the one who makes these shirts.
Yeah, Olive 87.
Yeah, and he has put some of his paintings in the hotel I work in, Christina Hotel also, and I really like working there just because I feel the place has a soul.
Yeah.
And letting some of the young and different in.
Yeah, and that's
really important. I mean, they have such a talent, and there's no platform many times to use it in a way that they can do something good about it.
No, because they have been shut out from every gallery, and just news checking shit about them and stuff like that. That isn't a really good environment. And we have had a zero tolerance in Stockholm for 20 years, so you couldn't do anything with street art. And that also did like the development of the art form just went really, really bad, I think. So in 98, 99, you know, Swedish graffiti writers was the best ones in the world, I think. And after that, the zero tolerance came in, and then, you know, crushed the whole scene really. And in that case, you know, Germany, Spain, Italy, France, Great Britain, places like that, countries like that, they, you know, you guys, you shouldn't maybe paint just here, but you can be out there in the suburb. Take that neighborhood there, because it's quite, we're going to tear it down in 10 years, but put your mark there. And then they, you know, develop, because they could stand there for hours and days, you know, doing big murals, and the Swedish one couldn't.
Those big ones are crazy sometimes when you see videos. They're like whole warehouse buildings of dragons, and I don't even understand how they. This takes weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't take weeks. It just maybe a week, as long as. But you know, they could develop that. And the Swedish one couldn't, because we have this zero tolerance. So I think that's a shame really for Sweden and for Stockholm. Today we have 5 or 6, I think, legally done murals in Stockholm. But people coming here to Stockholm want to see some street art, and we don't have any. So we have like I don't know how many German people we have coming into this gallery just asked us for, okay, where's all the street art? And we like, we don't have any. Or we have like these six places, and then we give them the addresses to that, and they go there. And that's a new tourism that I don't think Stockholm have thought about, you know, because people are going around the world, you know, discovering street art, taking photos, and then they put out the photos on Instagram. So they marketing your town on Instagram because you have street art. So that's also a thing, I think.
Sweden is good at restricting stuff sometimes.
Yeah, really.
It probably has its good and bads, I guess.
Yeah, of course. This is one of the best countries to live in the world, so I think it has done a lot of good things. But in this case, but also I'm quite happy with that, because I'm doing a quite interesting art form then, because if it was legal and then it hasn't been that, you know, interesting as it is, because why do they go out during nights, put up that paint on that concrete wall, and maybe it's up there for for hours, just hours, or a day,
they come and roll it
over. or maybe a week, and then someone just come to clean it off or just roll it over.
Or someone else is like, oh, that's a nice spot. I'm
yeah,
paint over it.
Yeah. That's also common, really common. So, and that's a cool thing with this kind of art form, I think.
Yeah, and you put this gallery here on Östermalm. Is it a reason, or because it's nice? I think in the way that you put it, making it a bit fine.
Yeah.
In a way. But what was the thinking? Why exactly here?
I just had my office around the corner.
Yeah.
And when I helped people to frame their artworks, I go to this shop here, and I have the framery guy who was here.
Yeah.
And he was handling everything for me, putting up arts on frame. So one day I just came in here and he looks really sad, and he just, Jimmie, I don't manage to do this anymore. I'm closing down my business. Ah, cool, I said, because I liked the shop. So I like, yeah, but then I can take it. And he's just, yeah, why not? And then we came up to an agreement. And then I opened up here. From the start, when I started Wallery, I said like I should never have a physic gallery at all. I should always do like pop-ups and collaborations and stuff like that. The thing I always should have was the base should be like on internet. So you can buy all arts and everything on internet. And then you should discover arts on wall on restaurants, on hotel lobbies or whatever. And then you go home and just...
I think this is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see one painting, but it won't like take your whole attention. But when you come here, you really want to slowly go through the paintings, and you have no dinner disturbing. How long have you had this gallery now?
In September I have it for 5 years.
5 years. Okay.
So
And you have events here a lot, because you invited my brother. He sends his regards, by the way.
Thank you.
Do you have every now and then you have a little party or?
I try to have one vernissage or inauguration once a month. And sometimes that's too much, I think, for my clients and stuff like that. And it's a lot of handle. But also, if you look at it, it's like you have 52 weeks in a year, and then you have like some vacation, you have holidays during Christmas time and stuff like that. So you don't have that many weeks or months to exhibit an artist. So you really have to somehow try to have one new solo exhibition or group exhibition once a month.
So if you could choose like one favorite sort of painting, maybe you have a favorite in here. What do you like the most when people paint and you're like, that really touches my heart?
No, it's so hard to say, because some of the artists, some of them really struggling, and then you can just feel like, oh, I love this artist because
you can see
he's really struggling, and he's really doing efforts and stuff like that. And some other ones, you just pick them because they are really beautiful. They have found their concept or whatever. So it's really hard. And I think what I like, I could say a painting today, but tomorrow it's another one. And the week after that it's another one. It's like with your emotion, how you feel, what you feel, and what have you experienced during the day or during the week or during the month, or what state of mind you're in, I think. So I can't put out just one artwork and say, okay, this is the one, really. It's too hard. I love them all. This is almost 90 artworks in here today, and I in somehow I love them all. I know a lot of these artists. I have worked with them some of them for 5 years, and they know I'm struggling, and I know they're struggling. So I'm just really, really happy that they want to, come here with their art and let me put it up on the wall and try to sell them for it. So that's...
No, not to pick a favorite then, but if you would just close your eyes and think about one that you like something about, like it reminds you of something, or just one, it doesn't even have to be your favorite, just one, and why you like it. It doesn't have to be in here, it could be an old one from your youth.
Yeah.
Or maybe one you think should be created, I don't know.
Yeah, no. It's quite, you know, you have your favorites, like in the street art scene, of course, everybody knows who Banks is, and I haven't exhibited Banksy because that's I think I never can, but I love his way doing street art. I love his way how he's working with marketing and everything, branding himself, PR and everything. Of course, so that's an artist that I really love. But then I have like Tristan Eaton, who's also one of the biggest ones in the world, that I discovered quite early for being a Swedish guy. You know, nobody had discovered Tristan Eaton, and I discovered him and like thought he was like a stencil artist, and then I had the opportunity to walk by his mural in New York and take a really good look at it, and saw like, okay, everything was painted on freehand with a spray can. And I thought like, this guy, he's a genius. How can he do that? And that he become my like house god. And the first time that I earned some money so I could bought one of his artworks, that was, you know, when I had it. And I packed it up and put it out on my wall. That's one of like the biggest thing happened for me.
Well, what was the painting?
It's a painting with his grandmother's face on and a lot of stuff around it. Just a particular Tristan Eaton painting, because he does a lot of, you know, letters and you know, put in a really good, vibrant.
Do you have it in your house now, home?
Yeah, I have.
Maybe you can take a picture. Put it in the video for so people.
Yeah, no problem. And it's an awesome piece, and it was like over the piece. It's like small arrows all over the piece, and that one that part I didn't really like at all, and I like, why have he does that? So when he was here last summer, he was here painting for me. I asked him about that, and then he told me like, his grandmother and his grandfather, they lived together all their lives, and his grandfather was so in love with his grandmother, but his grandmother was in the last years she was senile, so she couldn't find the way to the store, like, you know, for grocery store, to the flower shop and stuff like that. So in the city where they were living, he painted arrows on the street for her.
So you could find it.
Yeah. So like green arrows for the flower, and that kind of particular color for the grocery store and stuff like that. So she found it and also could take it home. And that becomes like, wow, you know, having that history around that artwork for something that I didn't really like from the beginning. What the hell is wrong with that?
You can relate that to many things, like things you don't understand, you don't always like, but when you understand them, it comes a new light on them. It could not be anything really, but
no, yeah, and I really love that. And the crazy thing with that is like, a lot of artists like say like, yeah, but you have to come up with your own idea about that artwork. And I say like, why? Fuck it. Just tell me what you think, or tell me why you did that, and so on. Because then I have a history around it, and this quite good history around that one. Because then I like the artwork even more than when I got it.
Yeah.
So it get another dimension of everything, and that's really, really good. And his grandmother was a really famous psychic, so people from all over the world was coming to her. She could spell their fortune.
Even after she got...
no, before that. Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool people in this world, and, and that's why I do this interview. One of my passion is stories, and just get to know more about people. And Jimmie, if you could have like some inspiring words to other people, not only artists, but in anything that they want to start and just find their way, because I know for myself sometimes it's like when you know you have like an urge inside, like I want to do something. For some people it's easier, some people it's harder, and you're like, people say do your passion, and then you might be passionate about a couple of things, but you don't know like what is like my thing. How do I find it? Should you just go out and try stuff, or meditate and search in your soul, or I don't know?
No, me neither. Sometimes I often, as I think you also do, you look at yourself and you think like, everybody wants to develop, everybody wants to do that, everybody wants to find their way, and so on. And sometimes I have to like think like, Jimmie, it isn't that way at all. You are like that, but maybe not every people are that. They're quite happy with their lives, they're quite happy with where they are, their work they have, and stuff like that. But of course, then you have like people, complaining each day, or every Sunday they can't sleep because tomorrow it's Monday and they have to go to their boring work and stuff like that. And I think life is too short in that way. Then you have to, find something else to do, and that does you happy. Or I also think like some people have boring jobs during daytime, and they just work as much as they have to, and then they have the spare time, afterwards.
And they actually use it.
Yeah, then they use that part to do their hobbies. People, developing cars, or out running, or doing triathlons, or whatever they do. They like live on their spare time. And I'm not that person, because my work and my hobby, it's the same thing. So I feel really good when I'm doing really good business, or when I'm developing really, really good stuff, and so on. So for me, it's like, if you're in a bad relation, or if you have a boring job or whatever, then just do something about it. Don't go out there and nag on other people, say, oh, my boring job and stuff like that. Then just say like, today I have a boring job and I want a new one. To everybody you meet, just say, I want a new job. What do you want to do? I figured that out. I want to work with that. Because I think you should have a goal. A goal in life, or in goal what you want to do. Because it's one thing going out to your friends and say, okay, I have a boring job and I want a new one. Okay. It's better to say, I have a boring job, I want to be a professional ice hockey player. Okay, that was a really good bad example. But okay, we take one on. I want to be an architect. Okay, and how could you be that? Shouldn't you? Don't you have to go to school and have really good? You being really good in school and stuff like that. Yes, or you do an examen. You can do also that. And then you can come into architect school and stuff like that. Or I have one who knows about that one, and maybe you can try to work on an architect firm for a year or something like that.
That's a great example, because many times you just build up this mountain you have to do, and you don't realize that, there was a lift on this mountain, or something like this. So
I think put up take your time, put up a goal, and then you say, okay, I want to work with this, or I want to do this, or I want to be this. And then you say that to everyone you meet. Because then because a lot of people around you wants to help you. They don't want you to be a miserable person. They don't want you to go to work that you hate and you don't feel good. People wants to bring out the best of everyone. So, because that's the way how I work. If you should come to me and say, Jimmie, I have a really boring job, and I said, okay, why? And because of that and this, and okay, what do you want to do? I want to do that. And then I start figuring out like, okay, Max wants to do this. Who do I know? I know that guy, who knows that girl, who knows that guy, who knows that. Can we like somehow connect Max together with them and bring them into a lunch? They meet up and this person can explain for you. Okay, this is how I work. This is how my daytime works. And does it sound interesting for you? And you feel like, yeah, now it's feeling almost more interesting than before the meeting. And then you gain more, and then you have a contact, and then okay, how can I work with your firm and in your firm? And then
slowly you can see it happening for yourself.
Yeah, and I don't say that's gonna take a week.
No.
I think that could take years, really. But if you don't have that goal, it ain't gonna happen at all, because people can't help you out. You know, today with social medias and stuff, you can just send a text message out there and say like, yeah, I'm so bored, I want to do this, can somebody help me? And I can just say that, of course people's gonna help you out.
I have a good example actually, like the song I'm about to finish up now. It's with a girl that was like a job I had maybe 2 years ago more, and she was like kind of my boss there, and we were just talking, like she makes music, she's a singer, and I was like, yeah, I do this. At that point I just did rap. Now I going over to rap and singing, and interesting in a lot of kinds of genres. And then I just kept on doing my thing, and I released this my first singing project, and that reminded her when she saw it, like you said, on social media. She's like, oh yeah, right, we were gonna do that. And she 2 years later, after years we talked about it, nothing happened, but then look, and now we're doing a song. We have like a hard cover of it, which I think is pretty fucking great. We just have to finish the details and refine it and stuff. And sometimes maybe you have to just let a project lie a little bit, because the opportunity wasn't right now, but it's ready. Like when I performed here for you, I had a song, I didn't knew how to use it, where to use it, and then I was like, well, I'm ready, I have a song, so I could perform. I think you and me, we are quite the same person in a lot of ways. So we think alike and stuff like that. But I think there are people out there, just walk around in a kind of miserable life. And I don't want people to have that. Life is too short. Do something about it. And it doesn't have to be just around the right job, the right work, and you gain a lot of money or whatever it is. It's not other stuff in life you can just change to do it better. Maybe it's the person you live with, then change that. Or you don't have any hobby afterwards, then change that. Because then you have something to long for during daytime. Like tonight we're going to see a movie, or we're going to do that, or we're going to have like a book project or whatever. Then you're going to sit there at your boring job, but you have your mind somewhere else, and that's going to make you happy. So in that case, if that's make you happy, you're going to meet up with people who also think that this is a quite good idea to do, and they work other places, and maybe something there also grow and become something else that you don't have expected at all. So I think you have to do stuff really. The universe is funny when it collaborates things to join together.
Yeah. Really.
And like I showed you that book about creativity I started reading.
Yeah.
And it says like you have these secrets or gifts inside of you, and the universe wants you to bring them out.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to have the courage to do it. They're there. If you search around and start putting them out in some form, they're there, but you gotta
Make
man
it
up or woman up.
Yeah. No, that's why nobody else gonna do it for you. So you have to do it for yourself. But then you can take it in pieces, or you can do everything at the same time or whatever. But you have to start work with it if you want to change it. Don't just sit there and complain.
Do we have any last words to the awesome viewers out there, or you like a slogan that just zips up the bag?
Yeah, that's if you don't look back, and if you don't look forward, then you have to look up.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah. Well, thank you all.